let's address the elephant in the group chat. Why are Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter always being compared? It's not because they have the same talent, not even the same fan base. It's because they check the same aesthetic boxes: white, blonde, petite, conventionally attractive, which means the internet instantly throws them into a Hunger Games-style beauty Olympics. But underneath that surface comparison is something deeper, something way messier. Something rooted in the long history of the white blonde bombshell, and how even in 2025, we haven't moved past weaponizing femininity based on who makes people feel safe and who makes people uncomfortable. The blonde trope isn't dead, she just has a ring light, 'cause think about it. Both Sydney and Sabrina are representations of a Hollywood legacy that worships the white blonde woman. Think Marilyn Monroe, think Pamela Anderson, think the angelic but sexy marketing machine that makes people think being hot and helpless is a personality. Sydney fits that trope in a very textbook way. Big eyes, pillowy lips, curves for days, and that soft-spoken demeanor that makes men say things like, "She's not like those other girls." Meanwhile, Sabrina's version is a little more bratty, a little more Gen Z, and way more self-aware. She weaponizes her femininity too, but she does it with a wink and a lyric about giving you whiplash. They're both in the same category if you ask me, but they're playing it differently, and that's where the internet starts picking sides. Okay, real talk. In today's world, fame isn't just about acting, singing, or strutting down red carpets. It's about vibes. And, more importantly, who's vibing with you? If we're keeping it real, Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter are two queens, two very different energies. Sydney's got the boys drooling, while Sabrina's got the gears in their feels. But why? Why is Sydney the walking Pinterest board for the male fantasy? And why does Sabrina feel like the group chat in human form? Let's get into the tea, and yeah, we're going there. We're talking about the gaze, not the gaze. We love y'all. The gaze, as in how the world looks at women and how that changes everything. Sydney Sweeney didn't just break the internet with her role as Cassie in Euphoria. She became the soft-core obsession of the male species. Like, she's not just acting, she's being shot like a fantasy. Slow-mo body shots, tear-streaked close-ups, the whole film school thirst trap package. Cassie's basically the human version of "Do I look pretty?" crying. She's not just playing a character, she's being curated like an art exhibit for the male imagination. And that's where Laura Mulvey's 1975 male gaze theory comes through like a feminist mic drop. It's not about who she is, it's about how men want her to be. Social media? Oh, it just made it worse. TikToks of her giggling, fan cams with Lana Del Rey songs, tweets that say Cassie is literally me but actually mean I want to be this hot and emotionally unstable. And sure, Sydney's talented, but she's stuck in this loop where she's always seen but never really known. She's fantasy fuel, sexy, sweet, a little messy, but never too much. Never enough to threaten the dude watching her on mute while sipping a Monster energy drink. That's not Sydney's fault, but it is the system's blueprint. Now flip the vibe. Enter Sabrina Carpenter. She's giving eyeliner smudge poetry girl who sends voice notes and maybe cries at 2 a.m., but makes it cute. Where Sydney's constantly being directed, Sabrina's behind the camera calling the shots. Her album Emails I Can't Send isn't a cry for attention. It's a whole emotional TED Talk in glitter font. She's not like, "Please look at me." She's like, "Here's how I feel, and you better relate or get lost." She's every girl who's been labeled dramatic, extra, or too much, and instead of shrinking, she put it in a song. That's the female gaze, babes. It's not about making someone hot, it's about making someone make sense. Sabrina isn't serving male fantasy, she's serving main character with a messy backstory and killer hooks. Her lyrics hit because they speak Gen Z, the whole too loud, too soft, too thirsty, too guarded roller coaster. And that nonsense outro? That's not nonsense. That's a power move. It's feminine, it's chaotic, and it's done on purpose. The baby voice, the cheeky outfits, it's satire and self-love all in one. And guess what? That's why women trust her, because she's not pretending to be untouched or above the drama. She's not like other girls. She's exactly like us, and she's cool with it. So let's break it down. Men are taught to crave beauty that doesn't talk back, softness with a dash of madness. Sydney offers that. A little fragile, a little chaotic, but never enough to challenge. Meanwhile, women are out here craving mirrors, and in Sabrina, they see someone flawed, funny, heartbroken, and healing. That's more than fantasy. That's therapy, and it's not all sunshine for either of them. them. Sydney spoke up about being reduced to just the hot girl. Like, imagine being a whole human being and still having to fight for serious roles because people can't see past your body. Meanwhile, Sabrina's been dragged for everything from dating rumors to her wardrobe. She got slut-shamed, love triangled, and meme-D into oblivion. Both sides of the gaze come with baggage. The male gaze flattens you. The female gaze, when twisted by internalized judgment, cages you. But both girls said, "Nah, I'm good," and flipped the narrative. Sydney's producing now. Sabrina's writing bangers. They're rewriting their own scripts, and that's hot. Because real power isn't being looked at, it's being seen, and still being in control. It's not about being the one men want, or the girl the girls root for. It's about being the one writing the plot twist. So yeah, why do guys obsess over Sydney? Why do women ride for Sabrina? In the end, we don't need to pick one. Sabrina is the girl you want to be. Sydney is the girl he follows. Let's be real. One reason Sabrina gets more love online is because she feels like she's for the girlies. Her music hits the crying on your bedroom floor in lip gloss demographic. Her stage banter is TikTok core. She's funny, she's self-deprecating. She's cool without being intimidating. Even when she's sexy, it feels like a choice, a mood, a meme. Sydney? She doesn't narrate her sexuality. She's just looked at. She doesn't wink at the audience. The camera lingers on her like she's an object, not an author. And because of that, people assume she has less agency, less edge, less cool girl relatability. And when a woman's image is perceived to serve the male gaze, the internet turns cold, fast. Two women, two energies. One messy sexist pop culture playground. But guess what? These girls brought their own swings, and they're not waiting for permission to play. The truth is, both Sabrina and Sydney are navigating a culture that loves to put women on pedestals just to knock them off. The only difference is who gets to be the underdog and who gets villainized for being the standard. Sabrina's power is that she controls her narrative. Sydney's power is that she's learning how to take hers back. And maybe instead of asking who's better, we should be asking, why are we still so obsessed with ranking women like a tier list? Because once we stop seeing them as tropes and start seeing them as people, we realize they're not opposites. They're just two girls trying to survive the internet's obsession with deciding which kind of blonde deserves to win. So, if you're tired of the internet playing blonde versus blonde, like it's a gladiator match, smash that like button, drop a comment on which gaze you're reclaiming today, and hit subscribe for more hot takes that actually make sense. Let's stop ranking women like we're shopping for avatars and start rooting for complexity, period.